Hi, thank you for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be exploring what are known as simple sentences in English. There are many different kinds of sentences that you're going to confront in English. However, for now, we're just going to concentrate, as I mentioned, on what are known as simple sentences. All right, traditionally, the formulation for these kinds of sentences are, you would obviously start with the subject as you would with any variety of English sentence, and following that, you would have a verb, which is what's considered your predicate. It describes the actions of your subject. So we'll look at a few different examples and talk about how they can be layered on to make them more complex and detailed. All right, so in the first example, which I have neatly typed out, we've got two words only, and this defines our complete sentence. Insofar as we have she, which is our subject pronoun, obviously female, so I'm going to go ahead and label it as such. This is our subject. Well, what did she do? What would be the predicate to the sentence? Well, she wrote. So that would be our verb in this case. Very, very basic, very simple, two sentences, hence the term simple sentence, right? Or two words, excuse me. All right, and then we're going to go a little bit further. We're going to take a look at our second example. And it's really important to break it down or decompose it into its subject and predicate, and oftentimes, parts of speech. As doing so will give you a better impression as to how to formulate a sentence correctly. All right, let's go ahead and look again. We've got our, she completed her literature review. She, again, is going to be our subject pronoun, so I'm going to label this as my subject. Well, what did she do? She completed, which is our verb, but the full predicate would be she completed her literature review. So all of that combined will act as a complete predicate. Yet here you've got what is known. So you've got this part. So subject. Let me highlight. You've got your subject. You've got the verb. However, a verb acts on what are known as objects in a sentence. In this case, her literature review is what was completed. And so you would consider, or you would call this part of the predicate the object of the verb, right? It's being impacted directly by the verb. Let's go even further. This time with a different subject pronoun, we have he. So he is our subject pronoun. And well, what did he do? Well, he organized, so that's our verb. But again, we want to look at the complete predicate. So he organized his sources by theme. Now here we're adding another element. This one's going to be known as a prepositional phrase. But first, let's take a look at it. We've got our object. So he organized. So that's what he did. Well, what did he organize? These are questions you just need to ask. Well, he organized his, let me switch to my color, his sources. That's what was organized. So this is your object of the verb, right? It's being impacted directly by the verb. And then you have what's known as a prepositional phrase. And anything more than one word is considered a phrase. So if it were a single word, it would be a preposition. But again, we have two different words acting in tandem, so it's a prepositional phrase. So by theme. So he, subject, organized, verb. His sources, object of the verb, by theme, right? So we're telling you how it was organized. An additional modifier that describes the verb even further. All right, here, our final example. Again, we have they studied APA rules for many hours. So we've got a group or a subject pronoun again, but a group of people, so a plurality. We got a subject. Well, what did they do? Well, okay, they studied. That's going to be your verb. Okay, well, what did they study? What was affected by the study, or what does the study refer to, which is our verb? The APA rules, so that would be your object, which again is being directly impacted by that verb. Well, how did they study the object? Okay, well, even more, red. Sorry, I'm trying to be consistent with my colors. Well, they studied for many hours, and this is going to be your prepositional phrase. I apologize in advance for my handwriting. All right, so again, when we're looking at simple sentences, which these are all examples of simple sentences, the formulation can be as basic as a subject plus a verb, or it could be as complex as, and I wouldn't, complex is kind of a stretch, a subject plus a verb, and then in addition to that verb, you would include what's known as, which color did I use? Oh, light blue, as an object, right? And taken even further than that, you can have a subject, so much color switching, sorry about this, plus a verb, and as I'm doing this, my handwriting is degrading, plus an object, oops, that's the wrong color, so much for consistency, all right, plus the object, so much color switching, all right, plus the preposition, right? Or phrase, prepositional phrase. And these are all, again, very basic sentences, very basic formulations. But the more you add on to something, or the more you add, or the more elements you add to it, the more description you're providing, which often is more beneficial in writing. However, in speech, simple sentences can, again, be, subject, verb, and it's considered more of a natural way of communication. Although, again, it kind of varies by person. All right. The next video we're going to be going over what are known as compound sentences, but for now, this was just a quick review on simple sentences. All right, thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.